Hello all.
Hi guys.
Welcome to the podcast. If you're new here, we don't do small talk. I'm Miss Roy.
I'm Royal Color Games.
And we talk about stuff. Lots of stuff. But first, can you put our faces on?
Yeah, I can put our faces on.
We have faces. Hey! Okay, real quick. High-speed housekeeping, a lot less than last time. Oh, and my frogs. I have frogies. I love my frogies. Okay, first, we're trying out a new schedule. Instead of pretending that we're going to try and do every week, just pretend that never happened. As you can see, it's been only like a week in between us trying, so we're going to do an every other week schedule and see how that works.
I'm going to try to alternate that with the YouTube's every other week schedule.
Yep. We will be doing, hopefully, Sundays. That may fluctuate. And the actual episode will be live on Mondays. Then, the following weekend, the weekend in between episodes, I will put out the Patreon early access for the video. The public access for the last video is up on YouTube right now. So go watch it. It's funny. We are a disaster area. If you have any ideas for the show or for new Patreon content you want to see, let us know. Email us, wddstpod@gmail.com. All that stuff is in our Beacons AI link that'll be posted below in the show notes. Oh, okay. I have one job for you guys. Share us with one friend. Just one. To be like, hey, go listen to this podcast, and that will help us massively. Okay?
Sharing the content is the best way to help us grow.
And be like, hey, do you like anything at all? And we're the podcast for you. Okay.
So before we get into the topic, I'm going to try to get into the habit of putting this disclaimer before every episode. We go down a lot of rabbit holes. A lot of the information like I pull out of my head may be old or outdated. We may not have the most up-to-date sources. This is more of an armchair philosophy type deal. We do show a lot of stuff from the web, from Google. We talk about science topics. We may not be 100% correct. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. We're not experts on any of these topics.
Wild speculation. Wild speculation.
There's a reason why our podcast falls into the philosophy category. we enjoy thinking about the topics, not necessarily being correct about them all the time.
Expounding on the potential and the possibilities.
So, what is today's topic that we're going to butcher?
Okay. I'm so excited. Roy picked our topic.
I like this topic.
How I have been binging, because Roy knows a lot of this stuff off the top of his head. And we've discussed this stuff a lot, but I did a little bit extra deep divey stuff, and we will be talking about time travel.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
All the wibbles, all the wobbles, all the times and the wimes.
And we'll be going through theoretical time travel, physical time travel, things that manifest as time travel, possibly time travel, time travelers in history. There's a whole bunch. This topic is huge. I love it.
It's probably going to be multiple episodes because I have a massive Google Doc of just like, hey, this is time travel. These are things. He's looking at my Google Doc right now, and he's...
Where do you want to start?
Concerned.
Because I have a place I want to start.
Okay, go for it.
I want to start with theoretical time travel that is possible.
Okay.
With our current understandings, without violating the laws of thermodynamics. It's technically time travel. It exploits the relative aspect of relativity relative to the observer. So, I'm going to propose a little thing here to get us started. We build the first faster-than-light ship. It's said to be theoretical. Alcubierre drive calculations are getting more and more accurate every day. It could theoretically be possible to travel faster than the speed of light. So, if you wanted to time travel, you're not really changing where you are in time, but by traveling faster than the speed of light, it allows something that resembles time travel. So let's say we build a faster-than-light ship here on the Earth. You need to stop moving.
I'm not moving.
Every time you move, I disappear.
You're moving.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get visible in the thing. You're like, and then I disappear.
I'm trying to get closer to you.
Okay. Back on topic. Let's say we build a faster-than-light craft that can move, 50 times the speed of light. Just throwing a number out there. And we were to build an incredibly powerful telescope on that craft. Say, one that could see a person on a planet around Alpha Centauri. Again, a lot of hypotheticals here. We were to take that ship and fly to Alpha Centauri at 2, 3, 4 times the speed of light and get there. You could theoretically turn around, point that telescope back at Earth and watch yourself leave.
Right.
Because it would take a light... Alpha Centauri is 5 light years away? I'd have to Google
I can't remember anymore.
So you could get there faster than the light, so you could turn around and see the light from you leaving, arriving as you get there. It's technically time travel. And it's only relative to the observer. Because from Earth, they see you go from Earth to Alpha Centauri, and it's going to take that amount of time for the light to get back, but that makes sense. But when you leave for Alpha Centauri and look back, the light takes a while to get to you so you can see yourself. You could flip yourself off physically. And also then technically you're in 2 places at once. Oh, speaking of time travel.
Okay.
There is a point at which, if you fly to Alpha Centauri and back, you will pass the light matter, so the light emitted by your ship in travel, in transit. So again, you could wave to yourself, only be a couple of feet away from each other. It would only happen for a flash. Micro-milliseconds.
So, if I blinked...
You would miss it.
I would miss it. But theoretically,
it would look
if I just held my eyes open, I could see myself.
If you could pause time at the moment you pass, you could see yourself.
So like when you're trying to pause a TikTok?
Because from your point of view, as you pass the light of you, it's just going to be a bright flash. Instantaneous.
Okay. Let's pause time at the moment when you come upon yourself, okay? Let's say you're shoulder to shoulder with yourself. Would you be flat? Would your...
Yeah, at the speed of light or above the speed of light, it would be basically a flat image.
Okay. So I would see, just not even a line.
It would be at the moment of passing, it would be a flash.
Right.
Inconceivable. Quick flash.
Past me see...
Future you? No, because you haven't gone that way. So you're not passing yourself. You are passing the light and all of the particles that can't travel faster than the speed of light, let's say come out of the Alcubierre drive.
So
you're passing all of that matter.
I'm passing my fart cloud.
Yeah, at the speed of light.
Okay.
So you going there, you wouldn't see anything. Coming back, you could technically see yourself. And it would be really cool. Because if you were to this is traveling almost exactly the same path back.
Right.
So you guarantee the light hits. If you could do that, you would see your ship start as a dot and get bigger and faster and bigger and faster and bigger and faster and then flash. And it would be gone.
Could you pass through yourself?
Yes. No? Yes.
Would you see yourself in the same way? Like if you passed through yourself and yourself was inside of your own time machine, would you see what's happening inside the time machine, or would you only see the outside of the time machine?
You'd only see the light distortion left behind. The stuff that can't travel faster than the speed of light.
Right. But that light also exists inside of the time machine.
Yes.
And if we were inside of the... Shit. Okay, now we're in a moment of
here goes.
Oh, God.
So,
what is it? The tree, the simulation theory, and freaking Schrodinger's cat, where Does the light exist inside of the time machine? So would we actually be able to see what's going on inside the time machine?
It's a superposition.
Fuck.
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
We could theorize that when it hits the edge of the Alcubierre bubble, it coalesces on the bubble and gets caught in the gravitational disturbance. So Alcubierre drive is warping space-time using gravity, where you condense it in front of you and you elongate it behind you.
This isn't the magnet one.
No.
Am I confusing it with something else?
You're basically producing lift with space-time. So you can't travel faster than the speed of light. It's theoretically impossible with relativity. So how an Alcubierre drive works is it wrinkles space behind it, wrinkles space in front and stretches behind it. And as space tries to normalize, the bubble that's creating the disturbance moves forward in space. So you, as the observer on the ship, are not moving. You are theoretically, technically moving in the universe. That's a very simplified, oversimplified.
So is this... I'm going to scooch away from you a little bit because it seems to...
That I know.
I will fight you. Normally we have to be constantly touching.
I changed the zoom speed and it fixed it.
Well, how was I supposed to know that?
I told you I adjusted it.
That doesn't mean anything. Anyway. So is this the idea of... Is the time machine... Is the spaceship stationary and moving space around it? Is that this situation?
Yes.
Is that the same as the wormhole situation?
No. So a wormhole is a fold here.
Are you going to do your paper demonstration? I think you should.
And no, let's get back to Alcubierre. Hey, look, Alcubierre drive time travel. That was where I was planning on going with this.
Okay, deal.
I'll pull up an image here. Let me show the desktop. So this is what an Alcubierre drive does. Let's see if I can find a more two-dimensional representation, because that's the 3D... Okay, here, perfect. This is the top-down. So you're compressing space on the forward side of the bubble, which expands the space behind the bubble, and because of that, the bubble edges... I'm trying to point with my fingers. This... I feel like this is backwards. This wants to level out, and this wants to level out. The only way for that to happen is for the bubble to move. The bubble moves faster than the speed of light, but the bubble has no mass. By warping space-time with this bubble, what you're doing is you're creating a tiny, independent universe. Again,
very simple.
It's not technically accurate, but it's more
it's the best demonstration.
It's to help picture it. So none of the matter with mass in here moves. It can't move faster than the speed of light.
Right.
So by bending space-time, we're creating a space-time bubble. Think of it like stasis. Everything inside of this moves at 1/1 speed. Everything outside of this moves at 1/1 speed. But the fabric of the universe itself is being stretched and pulled to move the bubble that happens to contain this ship.
Okay. You know when...
That's what it looks like in 3 dimensions.
You know when you're watching a cartoon, like the old school cartoons, and the character is running on a carpeted surface, and they're running so fast without moving, and they're wrinkling up the carpet behind them?
That's exactly what we're doing to space.
Okay.
Because when you stop applying that, or as you apply it, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to read the paper again. It's like pulls the rug. The rug's a perfect example.
Right. Okay.
So you got wrinkles in a rug. You sit down on the rug, right? You pull the front of the rug to get rid of the wrinkles behind it.
And that drags you along with it.
And then you wrinkle up the back again, and you drag it forward.
Okay.
So you are not moving on the rug, but the rug is moving through the room.
Okay.
The bubble is the rug.
Okay. I think we should use this example to teach the boys time travel, because that would be perfect.
Alcubierre drive does lead to relativistic physics and time travel, according to the observer. I think the example is either a plane or a train moving at 99.999 repeating forever speed of light, right? nothing on the ship has violated the laws of relativity.
Right.
The theory of relativity is still theory. But if someone was to stand up and walk forward on the ship, they're moving, and this is time dilation. We've talked about time dilation. So that ship is moving at that speed. You stand up and move forward. How does the universe protect that? And
that's making me panic.
This is time travel incarnate. This is the problem with light speed travel. Not faster than light speed. We're not talking warp drives, jump drives, anything like that. But physically, if we had enough energy, it would take the mass of the universe to get mass to the speed of light. It's exponential growth. So when that person stands up and walks forward, relative to that person, they are moving at normal speed.
Yeah, but
the people in the seats next to them, that person is slowing down exponentially so it cannot break the speed limit. So the person that stands up and walks to everybody else on the train is moving in slower and slower motion the closer they get to light speed. The same thing if you're here on Earth and we launch a light speed craft from Earth. As it nears the speed of light, time is going to slow down for them relative to us. For them, they're in 1-to-1 scale. For us, we're seeing them move at the speed of light. So if you fly out 1 light year and then fly back 1 light year, again, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I'm sure we could Google it. But there's a set amount of time that will have passed in the craft. And that will be different than on Earth. So let's throw out just random numbers. Let's say 2 weeks has passed in the craft. It could be as much as 50 to 60 years on Earth. So you get in a craft, you shoot out at light speed and back to, say, Alpha Centauri. And everyone you have ever known or loved is dead. Civilization is increased. So that is actually theoretically possible time travel. But it's only time travel relative to the observer.
So, crap. There was something. Okay. So, before I forget the other thing that there was something, what's the movie with
Bill and Ted?
No. Space helmets and
Spaceballs?
No. Smaller space helmets than that. Falling with Style.
Toy Story?
Yes, but
Buzz Lightyear.
So the Lightyear movie.
That's what's,
the Lightyear movie.
That's why Buzz is so much
younger than everyone else, and everybody else is aging. That's a traumatizing movie.
Okay, Stargate Atlantis actually, I think, gave the best example.
Okay.
I love the Stargate series because they actually do the math.
I should have put that on my list.
Stargate Atlantis. Speed travel. I can't spell.
You're good. You are on
I can't believe I got that right.
I'm.
What do you call the ancients? Yeah.
Close enough.
Close. So the ancients, there's a particular episode in Stargate Atlantis. That's universe. I don't know why that's here. But there was an ancients ship that was trying to travel a vast distance at the very end of the war. And their light speed drive had gone out. So they're using sublights at maximum burn. They were traveling at 99.9% of the speed of light trying to get back to help. Well, when the characters discover them, the ancients have been extinct for nearly 1 billion years.
Okay.
And the people are still alive that left on that ship. Because they're traveling at 99.9% of the speed of light. Not very much time, only a couple of years have passed for them. But the entire universe has aged billions of years.
Is Stargate Atlantis the one that we watched?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. The one with the people who like to eat your souls? Or whatever the heck they are.
Those are the bug people, not the ancients.
No, I know, but I wanted to make sure I was in the right.
Yes, that's the right show.
Series. Okay.
Yeah.
So the people who are like chilling on that planet, who are they?
The
Not the ones that land on the planet. The ones who are like...
The locals?
Yes.
They're humans.
But they're not the ancients.
No.
And they're not the ones who are on the ship.
Right.
Okay.
So I was thinking it's an Atlantean ship that was traveling. The ancients are the ones who built the Stargates. So, okay, the Stargates utilize wormhole technology.
Here we go for our wormhole. Okay, guys, this is my favorite thing, and this is actually probably how we originally, when we first got together, started talking about time travel.
So, think of a wormhole as 2 points in space-time.
Ooh.
Oh, it's deleting it. That's funny.
Okay. There's a hole.
There's a hole here
and a hole
here. One here, one here. So when you make a wormhole, what a wormhole is a connection of 2 points in space-time. You know, they always picture it as this like long snaking tunnel, but it's actually not.
Donnie Darko.
It is. If you think of this paper as the fabric of the universe, you got your wormhole entrance. We'll call it an exit. At the same, you know, these are both the same fixed point in space-time. The same exact fixed point in space-time. So the wormhole itself is like folded space-time. So you fold space-time and poke a hole in it. And I actually love Interstellar for this. They had the most accurate representation of a wormhole ever. Let's see, you can see the two holes now. A wormhole in 3D space isn't like you see in most movies where it's like a circle drawn. It's actually a sphere. The inside of the sphere at one end is the outside of the sphere at the other.
Right. But there is no end to it, so can't you just like bloop into it from any direction?
No, it depends on if you're going with popular culture ones, there's two ends.
Well, yeah,
a real wormhole is a singular point in space-time.
Is there a difference between a wormhole and a black hole?
Yes.
Okay.
A wormhole is, you know when we talk about exotic particles, how there's a particular particle that exists in two places at once.
Okay.
It's a positive and a negative, and they can switch at any given moment in time, and if you look at them, they usually switch. That's what a wormhole is. It's one particle existing, it's not a particle, it's one structure that exists simultaneously in two different parts of the universe.
So the best analogy that I can think of right now for like not nerds like us would be, you know, those lamps where like I'm thinking of you and I can touch my lamp and your lamp lights up even though you're like a jillion far aways.
So, okay. This is the common picturing of a wormhole. This is flat space as we know it.
Right.
And this is the structure of a wormhole between.
Right. So this is each end of that is a Stargate. Yeah?
We call it a Stargate.
Okay.
Each one is a point of the wormhole.
How do we get them to like boop?
Connect?
Yeah.
So, I think that's an actual picture of a wormhole.
I don't like that, and I feel like that's not true.
I think that one might be a black hole.
So that one right there is the...
That's I've seen that video.
Okay, I was going to say that seems very similar to the Hawking black hole that we found.
So, none of these are really accurate. This is used because it helps us understand it. This is flat space-time, but this end of the hole and this end of the hole are the same thing.
Right.
It's a two-dimensional, three-dimensional object.
They're pinched.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a two-dimensional object. This is folded completely, so it's one hole. It's not attached by a tunnel per se.
Right. It's less tunnel-y.
But it's 2 points in space-time. 1 point in space-time.
That looks like a better example. It looks less tunnel-y and more...
So this is what a wormhole would look like in real world.
So
it's a sphere.
The other side of existence?
Yeah, so what you're seeing inside is the exterior of the event horizon of the wormhole on the other side.
Okay.
So this is the inside hole, and if you were to look this way, you'd see what was behind the camera right now.
Okay.
So by passing through that membrane, we'll call it, you transition to the other side. It should, in theory, be instantaneous. Again, this is a little outside of my particular wheelhouse.
Right.
I know the basics on wormholes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of the math, but it's...
A lot.
A lot.
A lot more than we're prepared.
There's also a lot of conjecture on how they work, because this is like high science.
Right.
Some people think it's a singular point. Other thinks it's a tunnel through two spots. And until we create one and transit it, we don't know. But my understanding is it is a two-dimensional hole represented in a 3D space. So the interstellar wormhole that they travel through, I think the scene in Interstellar, which we can't play because copyright, represents it the best. If you haven't seen Interstellar, go watch it. It's a great movie. Deals with timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly time travel stuff in a scientifically possible way.
Does a wormhole harm space? Like, will there be, like, a scar?
So, okay, recent conjecture has come out, and it hasn't been scientifically proven. I think it happened with Neil deGrasse Tyson on TikTok. But
Seems about right.
Someone had asked him a question, and it seems like the scientific community as a whole is starting to wonder if a wormhole is actually the strings from string theory.
Okay.
So the universe is woven with wormholes.
Right. Oh, I saw that TikTok. Okay. Yeah. Now I remember seeing it. Yes.
I haven't went into that at all yet.
I don't think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think it was
not Neil. Yeah, it was. What the hell is his name?
Michio?
No.
No, I can see him.
It was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Okay, because I saw another one about... I can't remember his first name.
Wait, wormholes are holding space-time together? Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Okay.
It was proposed to him, but now all of the scientific community is kind of like, wait, that makes...
sense.
A lot of sense, and the math could support it.
Okay.
We're getting off topic. We're on wormholes again.
Kind of. We'll have to go into that in the next iteration.
We could do a whole episode on wormholes, black holes, white holes, red holes.
Hole is whole.
Anyway, so let's double back to time travel here. So we went over faster than light travel being modifying space-time. Mm-hmm. So one of the biggest issues with time travel in the way that popular culture usually shows it, I jumped in this machine and I went back in time, is it violates the laws of thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics. All the entropy in a system must be constant, always ending towards zero. So hot things are cooling off.
Okay.
So the amount of entropy in the system today is a lot different than 30 years ago.
Okay.
We have more entropy.
Okay.
It is colder. Overall in the universe.
Okay.
You gotta love thermodynamics.
Okay.
That's a whole 6-episode series.
So why... What about that makes time travel to the past...
Because the second law of thermodynamics states that time is the ever-marching entropy of the universe. Mm-hmm. So as the universe entropies, that's what time is.
So, okay, would it have been easier in the past to why?
So what I'm saying, and this one I've only heard a little bit about, but to go back in time would violate the second law of thermodynamics.
Because we can't de-entropy?
Yes.
Is it because we can't de-entropy?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. There was a whole bunch of math when I saw it, but I didn't take the time to break down the math.
Okay.
Oh, we covered Interstellar. And I didn't even look at your list.
I know you didn't. That's okay. No, that list is for me to interject as you give us information.
We could do from that. Let's ignore the laws of physics for a minute.
You want to go into the laws of paradoxes?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
if we ignore the laws of physics, because physics doesn't necessarily say time travel is impossible, just highly improbable.
Okay.
So let's ignore that the laws of physics exist for a second, and we go back in time. Can you be your own grandfather?
Let's do paradoxes. Okay, guys.
So, grandfather paradox.
This is the part that's fun and makes me want to puke.
And this is the stuff that makes my head hurt.
Yes, okay. So there's a handful, 2, some argue 3 broad types of paradoxes in time travel. What we're looking at is, generally, there's 2 types. We've got a closed loop and we've got a consistency. Okay, closed loop is the, like, I need this particular object in order to travel back in time, or I need this object and it's going to help me do the thing. So I'm going to travel back in time and give myself the object so I have the object in front of me, but
by having it now, I've changed time.
That's called the bootstrap paradox. Okay, so essentially, you have to give yourself something in order to make yourself be able to do the thing in the first place.
So, there is a grandfather paradox example that is also a bootstrap example.
Okay, what
and it is in Futurama. When Fry goes back and sleeps with his grandmother, Fry would not have been transported to the future if he had not gone to the past and became his own grandfather, which made his brain not produce the delta waves that were needed to fight the brains. So the whole time travel paradox thing in Futurama, where he's his own great-great-grandfather, couldn't exist.
Yep.
Because for him to go into the future to then travel into the past, he had to be his own grandfather and not have that delta wave that he got from diddling his own grandmother.
And he wouldn't have been his own grandfather if he didn't already travel into the past.
So
there you have. I like that. That's a very good example. I didn't know about the delta wave thing. So there we go. You know, I'm my own grandpa.
So Nibbler went back, well, didn't go back in time, but tipped Fry into the freezer because he lacked the delta wave that made him immune to the brains. That's why he went into the freezer in the first place. But he couldn't have had that
experience.
They said that he has that because he diddled his own grandmother, so we have a no opening grandfather paradox, which is a bootstrap paradox.
And then in addition, we also have, why the hell is Nibbler back there when we don't meet Nibbler until farther into the series? He had to have also done the time traveling in order to get him into the machine, and he wouldn't have been in the machine if we didn't meet Nibbler in the future.
It also gets better because Bender, at that point in time, if you've watched the entire series, like I have, I've watched it probably 20 times at this point, Bender, at that moment in time, exists more than 1,000 times. There is 1,000 Benders from 1,000 timelines, all existent at the time that Fry gets tipped into the freezer.
I didn't know.
4 or 5 of them actually fight in the room that Fry just got frozen in the night he got frozen.
Yes, no, why do I know this? What episode? Oh,
Bender's
God.
Big Score.
Yes.
All of the Benders reappear at the end of the movie, but if you stop and do the math, the ones that went to Egypt just waited out until that moment to come out of the basement again.
Yes, okay, I do remember this. I have a very vague memory of just a pile of Benders fighting.
Futurama covers just about every paradox for time travel there is.
Which is beautiful. Actually, I bring up Futurama in a few places in my list.
Futurama is such a smart show for what it is.
Should we talk about Lars?
Lars is Fry.
Yeah. And fighting your future self. And isn't Lars... But Lars is a different timeline Fry, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because...
So Fry goes back in time at some point and then becomes Lars and then gets bored of his life after he's aged and freezes himself to come back to the future.
Lars is Dolphin Timeline Fry, isn't he?
A Narwhal.
Narwhal, okay. Do you want me to stress you out?
Mm-hmm.
Interstellar grandfather paradox?
That's another one, yeah.
I know.
Him going back and... that's my biggest gripe with Interstellar is they went through all of this high-class math. They created the most accurate representation... Oh, it's right here on the screen. Look at that. That's cool. The most accurate simulation of a black hole ever. That scene that they used in Interstellar, they did out the math for a black hole to simulate what it would do.
Are we?
Oh, no.
Shit.
Hold on. This says we're still streaming. We're good.
Okay, good. Sorry, guys. We both just had like a panic attack because our stream preview said we are not streaming, and that wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. Back to where we were.
Interstellar.
So, it's funny that it's on the screen already. That wormhole picture right there, they actually simulated a wormhole using all the mathematics and proper things to get this super hyper realistic black hole for the movie. And then when NASA got a hold of it, they realized that it was the single most accurate representation. NASA couldn't even produce something to this level. And then when we discovered a black hole, a real Hawking black hole,
guess what it looked like?
It looked identical to the interstellar one, except instead of looking at the accretion disk, which is that this here is the accretion disk.
I forgot.
When we found a real black hole, we found it from the top. So we're looking at the top.
Okay, so let's
go. Black hole interstellar versus real. See if, So, and I saw a video. I'd probably take me a little while to dig it up, but there's a video where it takes this black hole that we found and it rotates it. Oh no, I think it goes the other way. It starts with this, it rotates it, and then makes it fuzzy to max the resolution, and it's a perfect match.
Mom, I want a black hole.
We have black holes at home.
The black holes at home.
Oh, where were we before I got distracted by black holes?
Interstellar, we were at paradoxes. Okay, so
the part about Interstellar that bothered me, because they went through this level of detail in math. They calculated out how long time would be on this planet near a black hole. It made it accurate down to a millisecond for the movie. And at the very end, the wormhole that got us to the black hole to create the gravity that created the wormhole was created by us. But again, we're in a bootstrap closed loop where some outside force would have had to have given us the way to get to the black hole in the first place.
Okay.
So there's time travel, not necessarily in the original sense. Well, no, there is. There's both. Because when he plunges into the black hole... spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie by now, what are you doing with your life? When he dives into the black hole, he's in a 4D space.
Is that all the stuff that's moving?
Yes, that's a three-dimensional representation of a four-dimensional object. And that four-dimensional object, the fourth dimension, is time, and that's how he can knock over the bookshelf to give himself the message in the past that leads to the discovery in the future. But that couldn't have happened without the discovery and him going into the wormhole, or humanity in general creating the wormhole that they used to get to the black hole. So, it's a big...
wibbly-wobbly bullshit.
I'm so mad that they messed up.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you go to our Patreon from several months ago, he has a rant from the day he discovered, the day he realized he had a dream. This happened in a dream. He has a rant on our Patreon from the day he realized there was an issue in Interstellar, and he was so pissed.
It was a good movie. It does a really good job of explaining what time and gravity does around a black hole. But just, you gotta overlook that little tiny bootstrap paradox. It's kind of massive, but...
So, I have a fun bootstrap paradox, and it's your classic bootstrap paradox. You know what one it is?
Bill and Ted?
Nope. Leaning more Deadpool. Okay?
Oh, bringing Wolverine back?
No! Let's go kill Hitler.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So in... Oh, fuck it. You can go through... There is so many paradoxes and issues with Marvel, X-Men universe.
No, I'm not even getting into that. But what I'm saying...
No, I know. When Deadpool goes back to kill Hitler and he kills the alternative version of himself, he actually changes the timeline so Logan doesn't die at the end of Logan, and then he can be an X-Men Wolverine.
Right.
So... It's just...
Are you having a stress? Okay.
These timelines are so confusing.
So, the idea is, why can't you go back and kill Hitler? Because it seems to be a lot of people's, concept is, I'm going to go back in time and kill Hitler.
You don't want to do that.
Couple of reasons.
Multiple reasons.
If you tried, you would go back in time, right? You kill Hitler. Then you go forward in time, and then there's no reason for you to have gone back in time to kill Hitler. Therefore, you did not kill Hitler.
So that's...
That one is your...
Paradox resolutions is what this points to, because there's several different resolutions a paradox can come to. You have a self-neutralizing one where, like in Futurama, all of the time duplicates die. They explode. Now that the timeline is safe, there's not two versions.
Self-healing.
There is my personal favorite, and honestly, in my understanding, again, armchair here, is where if you create a paradox, the universe will heal itself by branching off a new universe where that is now the truth. That resolves the paradox because you move forward in time to the point where you go back in time and then you change something. The universe splits into two universes, which means every decision can create multiple of the infinite universes.
Schrodinger's universe.
Yeah, so now, but then the question is, if you go back in time and create the new universe, is there any way ever back to your own original universe? Because if you go back and stop yourself, guess what's going to happen?
But, yeah. So, here's the thing. Are you going to know you're in a new universe? Are you... Is that your foil hat? Are you going to be... I fucking love you. If you're not watching...
Are you a unicorn yet?
He's wearing a tiny plastic street cone from our son's toy set on his forehead like a unicorn. I love you.
Oh, we got really distracted there.
That's okay. No, that's totally what I'm down for. So,
paradoxes.
Is paradoxes the plural of paradox?
Paradise? I have no idea.
Parado. It's parado. Everything's green. Anyway, so I don't think we got distracted by paradox.
A little bit.
From paradox.
Well, we should be talking about paradox resolutions, but we haven't even covered all the different types of paradoxes yet.
I know.
There's so many different types with so many good examples.
Okay, so this one stresses me out, and I tried to understand it. Do you know anything about Newcomb's paradox?
Newcomb's paradox? Which one is that?
It's literally called Newcomb's paradox. Basically, it is a very, very extra theoretical paradox. Oh, Boo Bear.
It's a good thing I'm not showing the screen.
Yeah, that's true. So, I'm going to try and explain it in the best way I possibly can. One person has future knowledge. The other person is just a person.
Oh, yeah.
And they are playing a game together. And the game is essentially deal or no deal. The player has the option of taking either one box or both boxes. The one box, guaranteed you see, has $1,000 in it. The other box may have jack shit, could be any number, okay? The future aware person is in charge of putting the items in the boxes.
Yeah, so he knows what he's going to pick.
Yeah.
But the fact that you know that he knows what you're going to pick is likely to change your answer.
And I feel like we're watching The Princess Bride. I know that it's not because Wesley knows the future, but as I was learning about this paradox, that's all I could think of was, I know that you know that you know that I know that I would pick this one, so I'm going to pick this one, and I don't care, I'm just going to pick this one. And he dies either way because the poison was not in the vial.
I love paradoxes.
So, if we manage to do a paradox-free, the hell's it called? Time travel. Then we get to deal with the butterfly effect.
I love okay. Short definition of the butterfly effect. I'm going to try to keep it really, really, really simple. Is the reason that they call it the butterfly effect, I lost my cone, is if you go back in time to, say, the dinosaurs, and you step on a single butterfly, right? Or it could be a blade of grass, you slap a mosquito, you step on a newt,
You sneeze.
you change the air current by a single half a mile per hour, humanity may never be born.
Because maybe you sneezed on the wrong amoeba.
Maybe one of the bacteria that falls off your skin infects something and causes an entire branch of mammals to go extinct.
This feels like it happens in Planet of the Apes. Does this have... Is that
Not
what's...
Planet of the Apes. There is a good
Okay.
one.
Butterfly Effect?
No. The Butterfly Effect movie, yes, it shows the butterfly effect, but what is a buttered cat paradox? Hold up.
Okay.
I'm going to open a new tab, so we're coming back to that.
Oh.
Not that movie.
Well, you typed in movie.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Are you thinking of the Mandela Effect?
No, there's... I'm trying to think of the movie. There's this particular movie where it is all about... It's not called the Butterfly Effect, but it does show a very good example. It's one of the friggin' time travel where he goes back...
It's not the one with the digital and the things are... He's like having a stroke and things are doing things.
So every time he goes back to try to fix something, it gets further and further away until at the end it's some blue being that is now the descendant of humanity living in the woods because there's no humanity left to save. I haven't seen them. I saw it like 20 years ago.
It's not... That one's not Project Almanac, but they do a Butterfly Effect issue in Project Almanac.
I love...
Predestination?
No.
I have never seen that.
You're thinking of the source code.
Okay.
Was the one where it's all digital and it keeps going back.
But his daughter says that... I don't think it is.
Is it... Am I thinking of Time Machine? No.
Morlocks? Micmoclocks?
Actually, yeah, it might be Time Machine, 2002.
Yeah, his wife dies and he tries to travel ahead in time.
Yeah, so he goes back in time, he goes forward in time, he goes back and accidentally changed something, he goes forward, everything's different, so he comes back and tries to fix it. And
his wife always dies.
It gets worse and worse and worse until humanity doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
So many good movies. Ew, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
And the Morlocks are finally like, your wife would have always died,
Yep.
or something like that, yeah. Yeah, that is The Time Machine. I slept through that. I will be 100% honest.
It is really slow.
Well, I was in a drive-thru.
Oh.
And it was past... I was 12.
Ooh,
that came out in 2002. I was asleep.
I see the Philadelphia Project on your list here.
Yeah, you do. We're going to have to get to that.
That could be its own episode.
I know. Well, that's why I was just going to mention those. Because, guys... We don't know if that was time travel, teleportation, or just a conspiracy theory. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you know about Project Rainbow?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, so the Philadelphia Project and Project Rainbow, and yes, we're off topic. I don't care. This is still on broad topic.
I think this is going to be an episode in the future.
Yes, probably the next episode. Project Rainbow and the Philadelphia Project were essentially the same thing. Project Rainbow, they were trying to move a plane that had the letter U2 in it. I don't know which plane. It was a U2 something or other.
The U2 spy plane?
I don't know. Probably. They were trying to make it invisible. And instead, they accidentally... Yeah, that one. Lockheed. That's the word I was looking for.
It's a U2.
Okay.
It's a U2 spy plane.
They were trying to make it...
It's only got two wheels.
Invisible. Is that why it's called a U2?
No. Yeah, same thing with the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah, so they were trying to make it invisible. It didn't work. Supposedly, it traveled through time, like 10 minutes into the past. With the Philadelphia experiment...
It traveled hundreds of miles.
Yes.
And people were allegedly fused to the decks.
Which I love and hate.
Actually, it does kind of fit with time travel a lot better than I had originally thought. So what they were trying to do is they were vibrating the machine at the same frequency as radar waves. So it's like, the circles on the glass on your microwave?
The holes?
Yeah, so for you to look through. That is a metal mesh, and those circles are slightly smaller than the gap of a microwave.
Right.
So microwaves can't escape. That's why it's there.
Right.
So the thought was, if we could shake the entire ship equally at the same frequency as the radar will pass right through it. Right. But here's the thing about resonance frequencies.
You gotta be careful with resonant frequencies.
You get enough boots stepping on a bridge at the right frequency, the bridge will collapse. And Mythbusters tested this. Tesla.
We're gonna get into a Tesla.
Resonance frequency is also known as in physics. You can use frequencies to change properties of molecules, which could explain why. So the ship from the Philadelphia experiment could have teleported. It could have time traveled. It probably never actually happened, if you believe the government.
We're gonna get into that.
I need a tinfoil hat for this one.
Where's my? I have a piece of paper.
But like people were fused in the deck.
Yeah.
So that part does actually hold merit. You know the things that they cut casts with?
Yeah.
How you can run it into your skin?
Yeah.
So that works by vibrating back and forth.
Right.
The cast is very hard, very firm, very
stiff.
So the vibrations can cut, but when it hits your skin, it just wiggles your skin. And this is the theory behind why, when they vibrated the ship at its resonance frequency,
the ship is much harder and people are much softer.
So it actually, our whole universe has a resonance frequency.
Right.
They shifted the frequency of this boat, technically, or allegedly, to another universe. This is one of the theories. So it stopped existing in our universe and started existing in another. And the sailors that were on it were somewhere in between. So as it shifted its frequency, it no longer matched the frequency of the people standing on the deck.
Right.
So they just kind of started to quicksand through it.
And as they popped back out...
Then when the frequency stopped, they're now in sync with each other. And they're both solids again. In relation. Well, okay, let's...
So...
We should do... I would love to do a Philadelphia project.
We will. Like, it's on the list. It's on the master list.
We still haven't even covered all of the paradoxes.
I know, and that's okay, because we can always pick this up and do a part 2 next episode.
We're actually at 57 minutes.
Nailed it. So, okay.
Okay, hold on. I see Butterfly of Doom.
Oh, so I went through...
And we need to do Buttered Cat before the end of the episode.
Okay, real quick, high speed. I went through... What the shit? Okay, hold on.
That makes more sense. Okay, I know what this is.
Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
It produces
infinite... I can't look.
You do...
Butterfly of Doom. Okay, so the idea of the Butterfly of Doom is the butterfly paradox, or butterfly effect. What I did was I was looking at tropes in media from time travel, and they called it the Butterfly of Doom.
We didn't even get into alleged time travelers yet either.
Oh, no.
There's going to be a part 2 to time.
Yeah.
Probably 3 and 4. We can make a little series out of this.
Yeah. But into... the butterfly effect, but also back to the whole you can't kill Hitler thing. There's something called Godwin's Law, but there's also something called Godwin's Law of time travel. Godwin's Law is the idea that the longer you speak on the internet about anything in like a forum, Hitler's going to come up. The Godwin's Law of time travel, which I think is far more interesting, is that you can't kill Hitler. No. It's that if you pull a butterfly effect, Hitler's going to win. Hitler's going to win World War II. So, if you sneeze in the wrong direction, World War II will be won by the Nazis. If you trip over a rock, Hitler wins. Like, basically the idea that you're screwed unless if you go back at all, even to far before.
I didn't realize that had a name.
Yeah.
But I've had this discussion with someone,
Ooh.
and there's a fairly good reason why. At least from this discussion I had.
Is it I mean, in my head, essentially, so many countries were so deeply involved in the situation.
It's not even that. It's any point in human history, if you time travel and you stand out, Hitler would have found out about it. He had entire divisions of men looking into the occult. They were looking.
Okay.
They were trying to contact gods. They were studying ghosts. They were looking up old school rituals, investigating stuff like the idea of a time traveler.
Okay,
He would have heard that, and they would have chased down the entire bloodline of everyone who may have come in contact with that person.
Very cool.
And if there was even a slight inkling that time travel was possible, like this guy might actually be from the future back there in the past.
Yeah.
That's all Hitler would have needed to go.
Well, shit, let's fucking go.
Like, they built rockets. Mm-hmm. Nazis, terrible, terrible, awful people, but we would not have the world we have today without the technology developed either by them or to fight them.
Project Paperclip. We can do a whole episode on that as well.
The Enigma machine, the existence of the Enigma machine, because of the Nazis, led to the development of the very first processor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, there's the odds of us getting to time travel without the Nazi rise to power, we would still be doing everything analog. Because Turing never would have gotten his funding to build the warehouse-sized, multi-million-dollar first processor that was essentially a calculator on steroids. That's
Godwin's law of time travel.
I learned something new today.
Right? So, is there anything else that you want to touch on before the baby comes home? Like 100%. Oh, buttered cat. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do this buttered cat that we came across. Okay, looking at these images, it's putting a piece of buttered toast on the back of a cat and dropping it. Because toast always lands buttered side down and cats always land on their feet. Neither of which are actually true.
Okay. Here's the thing
if you drop a cat from 2.5 stories, it will land on its back.
No, if you drop a cat from its back from 2.5 stories, it will land on its back. But if you drop it from 9 stories, it will land on its feet because it takes 8 stories for a cat to right itself.
There's an actual
calculation,
but it was like at certain intervals of feet, they will land on their back. Mm-hmm. They have a set rotation. Every cat shares the same set rotational speed, which is cool.
And I'm the one who introduced you to the cat flip issue. And the idea about putting butter on a cat's back or buttered toast is because supposedly buttered toast always lands butter side down.
There's a couple
Murphy's Law? That one's Murphy's Law, right?
Anything that can go wrong will?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually scientific... It's like putting in a USB. It's supposed to be 50-50, but
and it's 75, like 70-30.
Yeah, it's 70-30. Or 75-25.
Yeah.
The reason why buttered toast usually lands buttered side down is physics.
Yeah.
There's more weight. Butter is denser than toast. So when something falls, it wants to fall heavy in first. Mm-hmm. That's how rockets re-enter.
And I bet it also has, issues with rotational periods.
A cat is definitely heavier than butter. So it's going to fall cat side down. And cats have a set rotational period. Mm-hmm. So the cat will land, depending on the height. Now, a Converse always lands right way up. Converse sneaker.
Why?
Because the weight of the Converse...
The rubber.
And the shape of the fabric prevents it from landing upside down.
So if you put a Converse
on a piece of toast, you have an infinite energy. There's literally videos of people duct taping toast to Converse shoes and throwing them, and every single time, do you know what happens?
Converse side down, or it rotates?
The toast comes off the Converse. The toast lands buttered side down, and the Converse lands shoe side up.
Wait.
Every single time.
Wait. What if we put Converse on a cat's back?
Might change the rotational period.
And the cat and the Converse had the same approximate weight.
Have you ever seen cats in zero gravity?
No.
Google that after this.
No, can we? That's how we should end the episode. Cats in 0G.
If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, we do upload these to YouTube.
We also, maybe have Patreon bonus stuff. Oh boy. Oh. Wait, are we in the... Oh, God.
So we are on the vomit comet.
Okay, we are currently on the vomit. These poor cats. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're so bouncy.
That was like moon gravity. This is zero gravity.
No, guys. You have to watch the video. Oh no.
I can't believe we never saw that.
Okay, guys, that was the perfect ending. I'm gonna cry. Go back to the closing screen. We will see you guys.
Hopefully in 2 weeks.
Yep. Maybe with more time travel. Probably with more time travel. We're probably gonna be on this roll for a little while.
We'll try to be more
consistent.
Directed next time because we got a ton of stuff to go through and it all ties into each other.
I know.
And we got distracted by buttered toast and weightless cats.
Okay, guys. But that's why they're here.
True.
That's why they love us. Okay, guys. We will see you soon. Talk to you soon. This should be out tomorrow, so Monday. When you're trying to find us, we will be in the show notes. Yes, we live in the show notes. Beacons AI will be in the show notes. And we will talk to you soon. You good?
I'm good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you've reached WDDST Podcast with Miss Roy and Royal Color Games. We can't come to the phone right now, but if you love what you heard, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite listening platform. Stay connected to us on Twitter and catch us live on Twitch at Royal Color Games 1. Craving more chaos? Visit our website, wddstpod.wixsite.com/we don't do small talk for merch and other updates. Support for this podcast comes from listeners like you and us right now. Join our Patreon to keep this mess going and to get more bonus goodies. Until next time, embrace knowledge and embrace chaos. Oh, and if you have an episode suggestion for us, leave a message after the beep at wddstpod@gmail.com.